Yes, friends, thank you for joining me again for another session of real estate investment. I just want to caution people that when they are attacked by various ads, and basically those ads are talking about if you want to be a real estate investor, if you are a real estate investor, then come, we will build your followership and all that kind of good stuff, build your YouTube channel. Understand, building a YouTube channel is totally different than building a real estate investment portfolio. If you want to be a real estate investor, then you want to focus on real estate, not just building a YouTube channel. People who are encouraging you to build YouTube channel, which is nothing wrong with it, then they basically have no idea about real estate. However, they just give you taglines to talk about real estate, even though you don't know anything about real estate, and you are trying to develop your own portfolio, and then you become an educator, just like you are going to a class and you have become a plumber, an electrician. But to become a good plumber and electrician, you really need to do apprenticeship. However, these people are trying to educate you, teach you how to be a good performer, not really a good portfolio holder. So then you end up selling courses, and you want to recoup the money you have spent in YouTube, and you are trying to then sell different products, and you build a brand in different products. Even if you're successful, you may make money. But the reality is, if you want to be a real estate investor, then you really need to hold or buy, deal with the real estate, actual real estate, not really the derivative of the real estate or indirect way of real estate. So if you want to watch my initial video where I'm just explaining in detail the difference, you can watch that. But right now I'm going to really talk about, okay, you understand and you want to be a real estate investor, what should you do? Well, one of the things you can do is you can buy a reasonable property for whatever. You first need to decide that how much money you have to invest. Because a lot of people talk about, oh, you don't need to have any money and you can be a real estate investor. I'm sorry, that's a hoax. That doesn't work it. You just need to see that what is your pocket, how much money you want to invest in real estate. And then you could actually either work with another investor, another true developer or builder, and work with them and learn the business, or you can have your own property. And when you buy the property, what should be you looking for? That's what I'm going to talk about in this video, and then we'll keep talking about other aspects. So if you want to be a real estate investor, and let's say you have only $100,000 and you want to really buy a good property where you have a least amount of risk. So the very first thing I tell you is that you must look for the property somewhere in your vicinity, because you want to have things under your nose. I'm not saying that in the long run you will do it, but that shouldn't be your first gig where you go far away. You want to be somewhere close where you understand the area. Number two, if you want to buy and rent it somewhere in the more city area, not in the suburban area, because city give you much better return on investment. You'll get almost double-digit investment return in a city versus a suburb. And then the next thing you really is that, okay, if you have $100,000 cash, how much leverage do you have at the bank? If you have a leverage with the bank, if you have other assets, then you may be able to buy easily $500,000 property. But if you do not have it and you want to buy small, you can buy small as well. But the most important thing is that you build your leverage with the bank. Even if you do not need the bank in the beginning, you should get the bank involved, because once you start buying with your equity and with bank involved, let's say even you could put 50-50 at 20%, your goal is to put as little as possible in the long run. But in the beginning, you want to think about that you have at least 20 to 30%. Usually in commercial real estate, banks want you to have 30%. But in the residential, and in the beginning with the first gig, you can probably call it a residential and you may get away with it, because that could be called as a vacation home, and you can do Airbnb and you can rent it, or you can buy and sell it. But buying, selling only work if you have a very good experience and that you're buying the property under the market price and you can sell it over the market price, either by increasing the value. Let's say you buy a $100,000 property and you don't get any bank involved. You basically buy $100,000, but then you can add another $20,000 and you can sell for $200,000. Now that's good, and then you can do this as a first gig. But in the second and third gig, you want to get your bank involved, because in the long run, you want to become a real estate investor, REI. And to become a real estate investor, you really need to keep building this relationship, not only with the sellers and the buyers, but also with the banks and also with some general contractors and some people who can help you fix the property before you develop your own. I am a big believer of third party companies. I don't think that you need to have all the staff under you. Maybe you don't have to have any staff, just do everything third party, but you do need to develop relationship with one hand with some sort of real estate agents, or you can find yourself with some sellers, with some buyers, and most importantly with the banks. But in the beginning, you can just start by yourself. Just make sure that you look at the other properties. You can do Z estimate. You can find out what the real value is. And if you get stuck at the end of the day, you can always rent and still be good. And this is how you learn. Until next time, have happy, healthy earnings and happy, healthy investments. We'll see you next time.